guys, this is Tarot with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot, and today I'm doing a video response to my homegirl Dead Cheeky. She created a tag video called hashtag 20 something, and since I am now 7 years out of my 20s, I figured I would go ahead and jump in on this tag. It's 11 questions, and one of the questions in the tag asks where I thought I would be when I am 40, but now I'm 36, and you know, obviously a few years shy of 40, but I figured I could still jump in on this tag. I will be 37 in June, so that's not too far away, and I figure I'm close enough to 40 that I can go ahead and jump in. The deck that I'm going to be working with is the Hazel Moon's Hawaiian Tarot by my girl Catalin Sikos, and she's one of my homies on Facebook, and I totally dig her deck. So this is the back of the cards, and there you go. The reason I chose this deck is because I spent a lot of my 20s at the beach, well, a lot of my childhood too, but I did a lot of surfing in my late teens and like kind of all throughout my 20s, and so the beach was like a huge part of my life back then, so I figured using the Hawaiian Tarot would be apropos. Question number 1, pressure made me give in to, and we have to finish the sentence. So the card that came up for me was the Ace of Sticks, which is like the Ace of Wands. And so I would say heavily throughout my 20s, pressure made me give into just jumping in and doing things, even though my gut said no, and my intuition was saying no. I was like, psh, like I'm trying to be accepted by people, so I would just haphazardly and crazily just like do things that oftentimes put my like emotions in danger. I was in physical danger. So I did a lot of like things that were not safe, I would say. Question number 2, something I wish I'd done, and the card that came up for me was the Chariot. So in my 20s, you know, as you can see the girl here with her little dolphin friends, something I wish I would have done is just steered my own chariot. You know, just kind of did what I felt like I needed to do instead of what I felt like other people needed me to do, or just kind of like made other people happy, or like went on a path that was somebody else's. But I think looking back, although hindsight is 20/20 in your 20s, hindsight is 20/20 for your 20s, that I wish I would have, like, you know, went my own course instead of the course of others. Question number 3, something that I did that I would never do again. Ooh. So here we have the evil. Gosh, there's some personal things that occurred in my 20s. There were some things that I think for myself, like what I believe in morally, and you know, just how I took care of my own body, and all of that, you know, I kind of gave into misuse, you could say. Misuse of my emotions, misuse of my body, misuse of situations that I was in. Like, I put myself in like the worst situations. I think I was probably a glutton for punishment, but you know, I was like, I felt like I wasn't strong enough to have my own direction in life, so I looked to others, especially others, you know, guys that were older than me, and I figured they knew what was going on, although they didn't know shit. So yeah, for this I would say the evil that I did was to myself, and that's something I'm never ever gonna do again. Question number 4, the area in my life that I needed to learn and grow the most. The Queen of Cups. I needed to learn and grow the most in my emotions. I needed to learn and understand my emotions, where my emotions were coming from, where they were stemming from, why I felt a certain way. Like, instead of just, pushing things down and not listening to them, or just flying off the handle and just figured, well, I'm probably just a crazy chick, so I just fly off the handle. I just looked at his emotions as a weakness to not be dealt with. So I just, would shove it to the side. And that was an area where I think I could have grown the most if I would have understood where these emotions were coming from. Why did I feel a certain way? Why do I feel like crap? Why am I so upset? Like, where is that coming from, and what's going on in my life? It would have opened my eyes up to, really have to face what's going on in my life for me to be like, oh, maybe I haven't put myself in the greatest of situations, or why am I doing this? I don't need to do this. So yeah, that would be the Queen of Cups. Okay, question number 5, my single circle. So who I liked hanging out with the most. So who were my peeps back then? And here I had the 10 of Sticks. So the people the people that I liked hanging out with the most was definitely, I think Dead Cheeky had said this too, but I liked hanging out with people that I considered like mother figures, because I didn't have much of a mom, a biological mom myself, so I found I would say mother figures, or the mother archetype, in older women who, treated me so kindly, and they still are. They're still my moms, and I love them to bits. Like, they were so nice to me. They were so caring. They were trying to help me see what was going on. They tried to teach me lessons of like, hey, we've been there. We were in our 20s once, and so, but they were also women that carried heavy burdens. A lot of them, well, one of them, her husband had passed away early on in their marriage, so she had to like raise her daughter herself, and then there was another woman, my other mom, who, her husband was gone, and so she had to raise her daughter herself, and it's, well, actually, now I think about it, yeah, all of the women that I consider my moms, their husbands either left or had passed away early on in their marriage, where they were left to raise their daughters on their own. And I just now put that all together, and that's really interesting. I'm gonna have to actually think more on that. I probably can't do this on video, because I'm actually gonna have to think like what that means, and why. That's really interesting. So all of them had very similar burdens, and that's interesting. But I saw them as really strong women. I saw them as being able to do a lot on their own, and that's something I wasn't able to do, in my 20s. Well, I mean, I was capable of it, but I didn't see that I was capable of it. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. Question number 6, my 20-something social life. What is the 10 of Swords? My 20-something social life. I don't know. I would say there wasn't much of a social life. Well, I mean, I had a social life. I mean, I would go to the clubs and stuff like that, and but they weren't with people I wanted to hang out with, and they weren't places I wanted to go, and the club was not really my style, but it fit the style of others, so therefore I went. So my social life was kind of like hell for me. All I wanted to do was maybe hang out with 1 or 2 friends, and we could just like chit chat, or like go to the beach or something like that. So yeah. Question number 7, my first experience living on my own in my 20s. Okay, well, I lived on campus in the dorms when I went away to college, and then I graduated with my bachelor's just before my 22nd birthday. And then after that, when I was going for my teaching credential, I moved off campus into an apartment with a couple of former dorm friends of mine. And so the card that came up was the star. Okay, so living with those two roommates was, how do we put this nicely? Hell. So, so yeah, when I see the star card here and I see, the woman alone out in the water, reaching for the stars, instead of thinking about the, traditional interpretation of the card, I kind of saw myself as being so alone. I'm really stubborn when it comes to asking for help, and I guess I'm learning to ask for help a little bit more now, but I still like to do everything myself. I don't like, I always figure I'll just figure everything out myself, even when it comes to like my spiritual business and stuff, instead of like taking courses and things, I'm like, I don't need somebody to teach me that. I'll figure it out my own self. So I'm still kind of like that. I don't like asking for help, but now I know that if a situation arises where, it would be stupid not to ask for help, at least I know better now. But yeah, when my first experience living on my own with those two people, it kind of felt like I was all by myself and that I had to find my way myself. And it was not pleasant, to say the least. Question number 8, where I thought I would be at age 36. The original question was at age 40, but I am 4 years shy of that, so we're gonna go with 36. And here we have the Strength card, which by the way is my life path card. So I thought that, when I would make it into my 30s, mid 30s, maybe even 40, that I would be, I would have all this stuff behind me where I wouldn't care what people thought of me, and I wouldn't, and I wouldn't be try to be such a people pleaser, and I would be strong, both physically and emotionally and mentally. And I'd say I think I'm pretty much there. So I think I had that right. Question number 9, the biggest lesson of my 20s. 2 of Cups. I think the biggest lesson for me, you see this beautiful lay around these 2 cups. The biggest lesson was to have a better relationship with myself. So I have a better relationship with myself now, but that's something that I really struggled with. I think that deep down I didn't like who I was, but I didn't know why I didn't like who I was, and so yeah, there was a lot of stuff which, I always am a big advocate for, counseling and therapy and things like that. I think a lot of that really helped me, plus a lot of like really core friends. Some of my friends that go like way back to like elementary school and middle school that, I still have. Those are like my true friends, and they were around to really help me. And then even newer friends that I made, that are now like my sisters, they're, they really helped me. So I think that now this isn't a big issue, but in my 20s this was a major issue. Question number 10, what I miss most about being in my 20s. Here we have the 7 of Cups. Okay, so what I'm seeing here, what I miss most was I really did, not that I don't have like opportunities now, because, obviously I have all these different side business, and I feel like I can do whatever I want. But in my 20s, it just seemed like, you're still like super young, although I felt like, oh, like I'm an adult now. That you're kind of like getting out of college, and you don't quite have your footing solidified. I felt like if I just didn't have my head up my backside, and and that I was more aware of what was going on and what I was doing and who I was hanging out with and what I was allowing myself to be surrounded by, that I could have tried out so many different avenues, and I could have done so many other fun things even in college, instead of being in this rush to graduate in the 4 years. I just took whatever classes I needed just to get out. And now I look back and I'm like, there were so many fun classes like I could have taken. But yeah, I think that if I could go back, which I don't want to. I like being where I'm at. That, you know, I miss that just newness of having the entire world in front of you. I mean, I have that now, but now I have a career, and I didn't have that before, you know, and so yeah, road was a little bit more open. The last question, question number 11, what I would never, with a capital never, want to relive. Oh, and the card like flew out of my hands. It's the Sun card. A little confusing. So I think what I wouldn't want to relive, actually, interesting. Okay, I don't read reversals, but when I went to pick up the card and show it to you guys, when it flipped out of my hand, it flipped out this way. So I think what I wouldn't want to relive is having my inner light dulled. I think that throughout my 20s, my light was like you ever get one of those cheap tea lights that just doesn't quite make a flame, but it's not quite out either, and it's just like this little teeny glowing ember. I think that's how big my light was inside of me, or at least how it felt. I mean, I guess other people would say otherwise. They would say, you know, that, you know, they were happy to be around me. They always thought I was kind of a, you know, really happy person, but I don't know. Seeing this fly out upside down, I would never want to relive that feeling of not being able to feel my own strength, my own inner light, my own guiding light. Yeah, I'd never want to be in such a dark place again. Just, I am very happy where I am now. All right, so thank you, Dead Cheeky, for creating this very awesome tag, and I always enjoy jumping in on all of your tags that you guys create, and this was really fun. So I guess I will catch you spiritual homies later. If you guys want to catch a reading with me, there is 25% off going in my shop right now until December 11th. So if you spend $50 or more on readings or jewelry or whatever it may be, you will receive 25% off at checkout with the code Winter Tarot. So again, if you want to catch a reading with me, you can click on the information box down below to head to my Etsy shop. You can also find it through my social media on Instagram, Facebook, and I also have a website as well. Alright, so if you dug this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to click subscribe, and if you would like more videos just like this, don't forget to click that ding ding notification bell. Alright, I will catch you spiritual homies later. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out.